When you think of the 1970s, you probably think of two completely different automotive worlds. The first half of the decade was a glorious, tire-shredding playground of high-compression big blocks. The second half, a depressing landscape of choked-out V8s, catalytic converters, and graphics packages masking a tragic lack of horsepower. But if you look past the factory marketing brochures and dig into the actual, verified period test data from the guys who thrashed these cars brand new, the history books tell a wild story. Today, we are ranking the 10 absolute quickest American production cars of the 1970s, measured strictly by their legendary 0 to 60 mile-per-hour times. We aren't using modern restoration numbers on drag slicks, and we aren't using factory estimates. We are tracking the exact numbers recorded by period journalists using vintage bias-ply tires. And trust me, the car sitting at number 1 might just surprise you. Let's jump in. Starting our countdown at number 10 is a vehicle that shouldn't even be here. Say hello to the 1978 Dodge Lil Red Express. By 1978, the traditional muscle car was dead and buried. But Dodge found an absolute masterpiece of a loophole in the EPA regulations. Because this was a utility truck with a gross vehicle weight rating over 6,000 pounds, it was legally exempt from utilizing catalytic converters. Dodge took a 360 cubic inch Express V8, dropped in a police spec camshaft, a 4-barrel carburetor, and let it breathe through those iconic dual vertical chrome stacks. The result was 225 net horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. When car and driver tested it, the Lil Red Express sprinted from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.7 seconds. That didn't just make it a fast truck. It made it the fastest accelerating American production vehicle of 1978, beating out the Corvette and the Trans Am. Today, these are certified cult classics, proving that American hot rodding ingenuity can outsmart any bureaucracy. Coming in at number 9 is Oldsmobile's ultimate expression of luxury and brute force, the 1970 Oldsmobile 442W30. Oldsmobile was known as GM's conservative, upscale brand. But in 1970, General Motors finally dropped its ban on engines larger than 400 cubic inches in intermediate cars. Oldsmobile responded by stuffing a massive 455 cubic inch V8 under a functional, lightweight fiberglass ram air hood. The W30 package added a performance camshaft, high-flow cylinder heads, and a blueprint carburetor. While it was rated at 370 gross horsepower, the real story was the torque. A monumental 500 pound-feet that peaked at just 3,200 revolutions per minute. Hooked up to vintage Goodyear polyglass tires, the 442W30 reliably cleared the 0 to 60 sprint in 5.7 seconds. It was a car designed for the executive who wanted to travel in complete comfort, but also wanted the absolute certainty that they could humiliate almost anything else at a stoplight. At number 8, we have one of the most valuable and mythologized muscle cars in existence, the 1970 Plymouth Hemi Cuda. For 1970, Plymouth completely redesigned the Barracuda onto the wider E-body platform, specifically so they could comfortably fit the legendary 426 cubic inch street Hemi V8. Featuring dual 4-barrel carburetors and massive hemispherical combustion chambers, the Hemi was officially rated at 425 horsepower and 490 pound-feet of torque. On modern tires, a Hemi Cuda is a low 13-second quarter-mile car. But back in 1970, trying to launch this top-heavy monster on skinnier period tires was an exercise in pure wheelspin management. Even with those traction limitations, Motor Trend clocked the Hemi Cuda launching from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.6 seconds. Today, original numbers-matching Hemi Cudas routinely command mid-six-figure prices at auction, with rare convertible versions crossing the multi-million-dollar threshold. It remains the definitive poster car of the muscle car era. Number 7 brings us to the absolute peak of Pontiac's performance division, the 1970 Pontiac GTO Judge Ram Air 4. While the standard GTO was excellent, the Ram Air 4 package took the legendary 400 cubic inch V8 to a whole new level. It received high-flow round-port cylinder heads, an aluminum intake manifold, and an incredibly aggressive, high-lift camshaft. Pontiac rated the Ram Air 4 at 370 horsepower, but everyone on the street knew that number was drastically understated to appease insurance adjusters. The Ram Air 4 was a pure racer's engine that loved to rev high into the RPM band. When drivers managed to get it hooked up, it exploded off the line, hitting 60 miles per hour in 5.6 seconds. Only a tiny fraction of 1970 GTOs received the Ram Air 4 option, making them incredibly rare pieces of automotive history that represent the absolute zenith of Pontiac's street racing engineering. Number 6 on our list bridges the gap between American muscle and European exoticism, the 1971 De Tomaso Pantera. Designed in Italy by Ghia and engineered by John Paolo Dallara, the Pantera featured a striking steel monocoque chassis. But under that beautiful Italian rear decklid beat a pure American heart, a 351 cubic inch Ford Cleveland V8. This brilliant mechanical marriage was sold and serviced directly through select Lincoln Mercury dealerships across the United States. The 351 Cleveland put out 330 horsepower, and because the Pantera weighed significantly less than a traditional American muscle car and carried its weight perfectly over the rear drive wheels, it had an immense traction advantage off the line. Car and Driver thrashed the Pantera in 1971, recording a phenomenal 0 to 60 miles per hour time of just 5.5 seconds and a top speed brushing against 160 miles per hour. It provided supercar performance with the reliability and easy maintenance of a Ford small block V8. Swooping into the number 5 spot is a car built for the high-banked oval tracks of NASCAR, but unleashed on the street, the 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner Superbird. The Superbird was a specialized, aerodynamic weapon designed with one singular goal: to lure racing legend Richard Petty back to Plymouth. To satisfy NASCAR's strict homologation rules, Plymouth had to build nearly 2,000 of these radical machines for the public. While many came with the 440 Super Commando, the ultimate version hid the 426 Hemi beneath its elongated sheet metal. You might think that massive nose cone and towering rear wing were only useful at speeds over 120 miles per hour, but the sheer mechanical grip of this long wheelbase B-body platform made it a lethal stoplight drag racer. The Hemi-powered Superbird lunged from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.5 seconds. Ironically, back in 1970, many dealerships struggled to sell these outrageous-looking cars, often removing the nose and wings just to get them off the lot. Today, they are holy grail collector items. At number 4, we have an absolute wolf in sheep's clothing, the 1970 Buick GSX Stage 1. Buick was widely regarded as the brand for doctors and country club members, quiet, refined, and heavy. But when GM lifted its engine displacement ban, Buick engineers took their massive 455 cubic inch big block and gave it the Stage 1 treatment, adding larger valves, a wilder cam, and optimized porting. The engine was famously rated at 360 horsepower, but its torque figure was historic, 510 pound-feet, at a low 2,800 revolutions per minute. That was the highest torque rating of any American production car until the Dodge Viper arrived decades later. When Motor Trend lined up the GSX Stage 1 against the best of the era, it shocked the world by hitting 60 miles per hour in 5.5 seconds, clearing the quarter mile in 13.38 seconds. Motor Trend boldly declared it the quickest production car they had tested that year. It was a luxury cruiser that could effortlessly pull the wheels off the ground. Our number 3 spot belongs to a car that defied the laws of physics and the EPA, the 1973 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am SD 455. By 1973, the muscle car era was supposed to be dead. Compression ratios had plummeted, and performance cars were turning into sluggish highway cruisers. But a rogue group of engineers at Pontiac refused to give up. They created this Super Duty 455, a literal, race-ready engine masquerading as a production unit. It featured a reinforced block, provision for a dry sump oiling system, oversized valves, and forged pistons. Even with an incredibly restrictive exhaust and running on low-octane unleaded fuel, the SD 455 produced a highly underrated 290 net horsepower. In a period when almost every other American car took over 7 or 8 seconds to reach highway speeds, Car and Driver strapped their test gear to the SD 455 and recorded a mind-blowing 0 to 60 miles per hour time of 5.4 seconds. It was a spectacular middle finger salute to the malaise era and today it stands as one of the most collectible post-1972 cars ever built. Holding down the number 2 spot is the absolute heavyweight titan of the factory muscle car wars, the 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 LS6. If you wanted the absolute highest factory horsepower rating of the entire classic era, this was your weapon. The legendary LS6 option took Chevy's massive 454 cubic inch big block and packed it with high-compression solid lifter mechanical cams, an 800 CFM Holley 4-barrel carburetor, and massive port heads. The factory rating was a historic 450 gross horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. The LS6 Chevelle was built for absolute straight-line intimidation. When Car and Driver tested one completely stock on factory bias-ply tires, it blasted from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.4 seconds, running deep into the 13ths in the quarter mile. It was a brutal, uncompromising street brawler that came straight from a dealership floor with a factory warranty. Finally, we have arrived at number 1. The quickest accelerating American production car of the entire 1970s is the legendary 1971 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray LS6. While the monstrous LS6 big block ruled the intermediate Chevelle body in 1970, Chevrolet brought that exact solid lifter 454 package over to the lighter, more aerodynamic Corvette platform for just one single year, 1971. Because of GM mandates, the compression ratio was dropped slightly to run on low-lead fuel, dropping the official rating to 425 gross horsepower. But don't let that paper reduction fool you. The Corvette carried a significant weight advantage over its heavy intermediate muscle car cousins, and it featured a sophisticated independent rear suspension that excelled at transferring that immense big block power directly to the pavement. When journalists from Car and Driver launched the LS6 Corvette down the tarmac, it hooked up with absolute authority, blasting from 0 to 60 miles per hour in an astonishing 5.3 seconds. Only 188 buyers ordered the LS6 package on a Corvette in 1971 due to its staggering cost. It represents the absolute peak of big block performance before the dark ages of the 70s set in, making it the undisputed acceleration king of the decade. The 1970s started with an absolute bang and ended with a whisper, but these 10 machines proved that American automotive performance was capable of historic greatness, even when the cards were stacked heavily against it. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 legendary machines would you want parked in your ultimate dream garage? Are you taking the raw, brutal power of the LS6 Chevelle, the sophisticated engineering of the SD 455 Trans Am, or the pure compliance genius of the Lil Red Express? Let me know in the comments down below. If you love this deep dive into real, research-backed automotive history, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another countdown. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.